Welcome everyone, Ironworks Speed and Custom monthly shop walk round. Roger, let us know where we're at this month with all the projects.
Man, we got a lot going on. Some of these cars are like really coming together. That Mercedes 4-door, it's looking good.
People are kind of giving you a little grief online for calling it a crew cab.
Apparently they're offended that rednecks call it, a crew cab, even though you could haul your crew in it, but I don't know.
I think all around the car is just a conversation piece, to say the least, just because it is something out of the norm to hot rod, if you want to say, to resto mod or whatever. But you guys are doing a really great job at bringing this car to the standards that you guys are known for.
You would have thought that we put a 4-round taillight Chevelle bumper on this thing. You would have thought.
Making the community chat.
Yes. So we're just really working on the details. Customer was up here late last week.
And is he happy with the car?
That's an understatement.
Okay.
I don't think he could be happier.
And that's the greatest thing about this. I mean, this is what he wants. He really loves this car, and this is what he wanted to do to it. And
I made sure when he was here on Friday that I made him wait a few seconds behind me in the office so I could walk out, close the door, stand here and watch him walk, just to see the look on his face when he looks from over there and sees it here. We even made sure the cars were pushed back just so that he could, when he came in and saw the car, he could be like, oh,
can't wait to drive it.
Can't wait. Just loves the entire process. Just has been ecstatic with everything that's here.
So give us some details of where we're sitting with this car.
So we had to do a little bit of trimming on the bottom of the hood because it was super close to the aluminum panels and stuff that we've made. We're waiting on the machined acrylic to come in so that we can make our own headlight surround pieces in a mold. So we're basically making the plugs to then make the mold so that we can dye them in the silicone plastic, everything that we have to use to make that. Getting it really close to going to the body shop, just getting all the sheet metal really dialed in, all these panels that go in. I think that, I don't know if the printed dash was in it last month, but it's got defrost vents and everything else in it now. We got to get the defrost covers to go in. Now is when we're starting to we've got all the interior stuff laid out, but trying to decide how the interior is going to get made for the multiple pieces that it'll take to do that, and then what materials it's going to get made from. So we're just fitting brake lines, doing all those things. Dilesh, when he was up here last week, decided this has got to go. So we're ditching this. Going to put it behind the license plate, which is kind of funny because we take that out of the Chevelles. But it's a little higher on these cars, but we're going to make it where the license plate flips down. A lot of this will go here and we're going to shave it. He just likes the look of that side of the car so much better. We've decided to make a little bit of a spoiler, which is why you can see the tape out here with the scanning dots and some of the, I think that's
the spray.
Baby powder.
Yeah.
So got some baby powder on here to help make the black show up. We're going to make a spoiler that goes on here, and we're going to make a little, we've talked about, we found one that we like off of VW Golf, like a GTI, that kind of just a little small thing. Dilesh said he just wants to make sure that the car doesn't look like the Pope Mobile, because these cars kind of look very presidential, things like that. And so just to continue that, so we're going to make a little tiny eyebrow. So we've got the trim on here that's kind of mocked up just to get that. George, I think, is scanning it currently. You can see our Careerform scanner, and over here it's all opened up on the screen if you want to see that.
So just a quick reminder, we got bumpers that were designed in-house, all machined out of aluminum, and those are going to have a black trim in them. Yeah,
so we took last week and just kind of cleaned up the black trim with spray paint just so that it looked a little better for presentation with Dilesh. So these bumpers were machined in 2 separate pieces. This was a long piece and had a little bit of a bend in it, and this was a shorter piece with a little bit of a bend, and then we weld them on the corner, so they're not machined from these gargantuan chunks. And then you can also control fitment a little bit too.
So based off of the factories, but then kind of like the Euro style, and then putting your own twist and design on it to keep it nice and tucked.
Initially we started with the Euro bumpers, and you get them out of, I think it's Vietnam or something now. They're very hard to come by. And so, but there's a company there that reproduces them, and they are absolute garbage. And so we started messing with that stuff. Just decided, let's just nip it in the bud and do this. Because you can put all the work into it by hand, or you can start trying, going there. But this allowed us to change the shape of the rubber, downsize it a little bit, have a more control over what we're doing.
Rear spoiler, all billet, machined and designed in-house. Tailpipes coming out of there, and then it's got some reverse lights poking out underneath there.
Yep.
Okay, let's talk about the front real quick. Remind everyone how extensive this whole design of this front bumper and lower.
So front bumper is the same thing. Lower front valence we designed and designed it, and then they made a mold and the part to make the carbon fiber section down here. All these parts were machined. This lower front valence was machined as well to bolt to it, just to give us the look that we desired and trying to make this thing look sportier.
Do we have everything on the inside of the engine compartment handled?
Yeah, everything is set up in here. We made a little change there on the inner fender just to give a little bit more clearance on the brake lines. We're dealing with these springs because I want to keep the springs because it just holds the hood up nicely. I'm kind of tired of all the gas shock things that you got to change every year. So we're trying to do that, but they move a little bit more than we like. So we're probably going to mess with that hinge a little bit to make some stronger arms. But other than that, I mean, we got the HRE wheels on there. We put the side trim on here recently, which has not been on here for a while. So the side trim with the 3D printed gaskets that go behind it. There's gaskets that go behind that. The lower rocker piece, we've got a little bit of sheet metal work we're going to do right here and here to fill those in and make that disappear. Other than that, it's really looking good.
Okay.
Getting really close to tearing it apart and getting everything prepped to have weight in the car and get it ready to go turn to, I think it's going to be blue.
Okay.
So here we go. We got Daryl's Nova back. We did things a little out of order on this, mainly because of the carbon fiber hood that we're doing. For a long time, we've had the thought that we don't want to paint a body color section on the outside of the hood, so then you have the chance of adding some material or mud or whatever to finalize this gap that you would have if it was metal. I want to make it where when you open the hood, the whole trunk is all carbon. And so top, bottom, everything. And so we're trying to get that fitment right. So I wanted to get the firewall to grow because it's obviously going to grow a little bit with body work. This top edge of the fender hasn't been welded on because it needs to meet the hood when it gets to that point. So we want to make sure that this edge will line up with that. We wanted to get this fit around here so we can set the glass in here so that we can then make the molding that goes on this. We wanted to get everything with the doors in it with the weight. Currently, Stu is cutting in the door handles because the door handles will go in from behind that we've made. And so we 3D printed these little fixtures that go on. So it's got an edge on it there. And it goes on here and tells us where to cut the hole. And so we'll cut the hole and then the door handle that we have. So after we cut this in, this edge would get bonded to this. And this is designed to mold with the 18 gauge that is the door skin. And so all this structure is behind it so that you pull on this and it will be part of the handle as this part of the handle sits above this and it will bolt in so it's above the paint. So when you're looking at it, it will sit here in the door, but this will be all body worked and bonded to the car. And this will be removable to bolt the handle in from the back side. So you can see the holes here for that. I think this thing will come off, yes. So this is the handle mechanism that will bolt to this piece that will be bonded into the car. And then this will all get body worked and painted. And then this will get coated in black. So pretty slick the way that George has designed all that. Need to get this thing to sit back in here somehow. There we go. So that sits there. Got our little fixture. You could do the same thing here where you see the way it fits into our just roughly printed 3D template. And so then this sits above that. And we'll open the handle like so.
Clean.
So we wanted a handle that was a handle, but we also didn't want it to look like something too far gone, but we also didn't want to run a stock handle. We just trying to, you know, not just have a notch in the door where you reach in and push a button, do those types of things. Wanted something that was a little bit more mechanical, so of some sort. So up here in front, we've got the radiator top cover that is now bolted on the car for the first time to locate the radiator. We're checking for the clearance on this lower front hose because it's tight, and so we need to finish that. We have the printout for the hood, which I think you guys have seen in previous pieces. So we just printed this section of the hood that is based on the SolidWorks design we have for the carbon hood. And so it sits on here with risers to locate everything on there. Something's not sitting right there somewhere. You get the idea. I think it's sitting on top of that.
What are the wheels?
So the wheels are from Brixton Forged. They're carbon hooped. I forget the numbers. FX11 or something like that. They're absolutely beautiful. Super lightweight. It's going to go with the carbon theme that we're doing on a lot more of the car. There'll be a lot of carbon in the interior. There will be a lot of carbon, obviously, for the hood. We've got the mock-up of what is our lower front valence, which that is also needed to be made once everything is set on here for the bodywork, which is part of the reason that we're doing some of it, what you might say, out of order. So we've been messing with the details here of our air inlets. This is a pretty early design. Where we are currently is not exactly where this is, but this will allow us to see that stuff and get everything made so that the fenders are in alignment to the bodywork, doors are in alignment to the bodywork. All that stuff is set up to finalize hood gaps and the lower piece to make it like we did on the Mercedes out of carbon to bolt on and fit to the car properly. Just to be sure you're being sure. So got the billet grill in here, looks awesome. We're going to start fitting the bumpers front and rear, finalizing the fitment of the bumpers because those get painted and set in the car, bolted in the car. So we'll get all that set up. The other thing we've done is the steering wheels are now here for this. So this is the steering wheel we designed that we're doing a limited run on. These are the carbon hoop steering wheels that we've been developing. It's so the carbon hoops are much even lighter than the other pieces. We currently have 5 of them that were available. We've already sold 3, I believe. So there'll be 2 more on our website. It seems like they're doing well, so we'll probably continue with the design and develop some more. As you can see, that is one of our legacy version consoles that's in a 66 Nova. So I just set a legacy console insert in there that's not for this car, but just to give you an idea of how that stuff would fit in the car. We've made brackets that will bolt this console to this car, just like you would if you're going to put it in any other car, whether it's a Ford Falcon or a Chevy Nova or a 70 Chevelle. So at this point now, we've got the trunk fitting good. We need to add some more structure so that when you push on the trunk to close it, the carbon doesn't bow. We're having a little problems with that. Finalize the taillight fitment to get the bezels machined, because the bezels that were on the car from Marquez Design from many, many, many years ago were smaller than the sheet metal. So instead of trying to do all the work to downsize all the taillight and do all that, we're just going to make new bezels that are a smidge bigger so it can line up with the bodywork.
And if anyone doesn't realize, this car has been in process for many years. It went on kind of a little hiatus of just pause. And now you're redoing some of the previous work, not because it was wrong, but because the styles have changed, the technology has changed, and
the fitment has changed. Like a lot of stuff is easier now. Like before, your taillight options were buying it from somebody. Now it's not hard to make that type of stuff. And, there's just things that have changed over time that when this thing started, it had a different chassis, and there was a point when the project was going to get going again, it was decided to put a Roadster Shop chassis under it, because back then the only thing that was available was a Chris Alston. You could bolt on this subframe up front. It sits really high. It does all these other things that you don't want it to do, and now we're able to unibody it and do all that things to get the seats down low and create a bunch of room in the car and just make it all just work better because of time. Just like TVs, man. TVs are way better than they were 10 years ago. Way better and way cheaper.
Yeah.
And so that's technology's just really caught up to doing that. And that's where we knew that this was smaller, but I'm not going to spend a couple days on each one making this smaller and making that smaller when we can just make the lens. We can machine that thing for a couple $100 and we're way ahead of the game.
Yeah. Daryl's definitely going to have a very nice Nova.
It's very nice Nova. It's very nice Nova. So it's going to be fun. He's excited. So over here we got a few of our pre-order steering wheels that we've been doing. This is for square body stuff that we're putting together. This is what we call our legacy carbon steering wheel. We've been able to source these steering wheel rings, and we machined our own centers to go to that. They use a lot of the same stuff from the legacy cars. This is the same steering wheel that's in the Nova that we're using.
So this is more geared towards like a what like a C10.
It's more for a C10.
And it's going to be like in
so we're putting one of these in the Blazer that we just finished.
Yep.
And there's a couple other cars that we have, but they're built into the same premise of the legacy cars. So they have a lightened steering wheel hoop that's machined on both sides. It bolts together. And the intention is that you would powder coat the steering wheel and bolt it all together. So this sets over this. Oh, it goes the other way. So that sets here. This center bolts here. This bolts together and sandwiches it all together. Here's the horn button that sits in the middle, and so we're going to coat these in gold and make a black sticker to go inside that. So it'll sit in there. If a guy really wanted to get fancy, he could polish this inlet and then powder coat around that. And some guys may want to leave this where it's just powder coated and smooth, and some guys may want to have it wrapped.
Yeah, I mean, we saw at SEMA in the Roadster Shop booth, Hammer Fab had one of the steering wheels in the white Chevelle, and that was all leather wrapped, real nice stitched. And
with the blue stitching to match the stripe and everything else. So as you can see, we started out with 10 that we started with. We've already sold 3, I believe. On these, we've already sold 3, I believe, of the legacy carbon ones. We have just a few left in stock. We're probably going to reorder both of these here soon. We just kind of wanted to test the market and see how everything turned out. But you can see how the horn button looks. You can see how it all looks when it's all one piece. Bolted together. It's pretty light. Just a nice steering wheel. So that's what we're trying to do, is just raise the game in the steering wheel so that we can have the timeless design but still have some modern function. And these things, I mean, just comparing the two of these, this one it's insanely lighter. But it's just because it's much less mass. This one is styled to look like a square body. And I think if there's some interest, we might make a new piece that goes on the top of this that would be for a Chevelle, to not look like it's
be like
for a
more
square
of the Malibu style.
More of the Malibu style to go in this, to where you could put it in a Chevelle.
Nice, nice. So if anyone's interested in this
is all on our website now.
Okay, the C10 ones are already up.
C10 ones are up. These are up. We've been doing, it was on pre-order for a little while, and so we've sold some of those just to kind of test the market, and it looks like we're going to move forward. So,
okay. So
just
go
know
over to
that
the website and check it out.
We're not trying to be a huge scale manufacturer on these parts. These are all put together by the guys who build the cars. These are all put together as parts and pieces, and we're scaling up to make more and more parts. But this is all USA made, top quality stuff that I'm scratching up. But it all fits together nicely. It's meant to work together. It's not meant to just be the cheapest thing we could manufacture. We want to make quality stuff that works well.
And I just want to kind of throw this out here, but you're not a parts manufacturer just trying to make a number of SKUs to sell. You're a car builder. So it's coming from a car builder point of view for style and fitment and how it's manufactured. So there's a lot of care into it when it comes down to the whole final result.
And just trying to make stuff that's different. Like, I don't think anybody, I'm sure there's people making carbon hoop steering wheels, but there's one that doesn't look like this. And
or they're more universal style.
This is not a new concept to make these out of aluminum. It's just a different style, but it is a new concept to make it where it's machined to be lighter. You know, we're trying to cut the weight out of it, because this saves machining all this out of it takes 4 pounds out of the steering wheel, which is reciprocating weight that just makes the steering feel lighter when you're driving the car. And then we've done everything we could to machine this stuff the more difficult way. Like, it would have been easy just to make this solid and make this solid and make this steering wheel weigh 12 pounds. But that's not what we want. We want to make this stuff lighter, make it work well, just make it nice. We're trying to do this one where it's just easy to detail.
Okay, go to the website,
so
check them out, and let us know if you guys are interested in it.
Here we are with Dr. Bob's Chevelle number 7. We've pretty much got the rust repair dealt with. The body is officially welded to the chassis. Firewall's going in. Wheel tubs are back from powder coat so that we can spot weld those into the car. And just getting everything together to start moving into the next phase of hanging the sheet metal and putting the hood on it and getting everything fit back to the car so that we can prep it for body work. As you can see, this car's gone pretty quick. I think it was 2 months ago. Was it, or was it a month ago? I don't know.
It's not been that long at all.
That this car was outside, red, or 5 shades of red.
It ran. I mean,
drove it in, all that stuff, to now it's officially a legacy car. There's no going back. It's got everything in it. It's looking, it's nice and straight. Getting everything together to move forward on this.
This is going to be and this is going to be the first red legacy Chevelle.
You're going to be happy about that.
Yeah.
You've wanted to do a red one for a while.
Yeah. You got the black cherry one now, and now this is going to be the red, which red is iconic to a lot of people.
It is.
So that's going to be great. So we're at the Fairlane.
So yeah, we got Danny's Fairlane. It's got a new rack and pinion to get rid of that dead spot that was in it. It's got new shocks that we would use on the Legacy Series Chevelles. It's got, what else have we done? We changed the master cylinder for the clutch to go to a little bit bigger one so that the clutch would release a little bit better, because once everything got warm, sometimes it felt like the clutch wouldn't fully release. And so we were dealing with that issue. Just a couple other small issues just to get the drivability right. Another thing we found is that the steel springs in the trunk were, they had given up the ghost. So they didn't want to hold the trunk up. So we've converted it over and made some brackets on a painted car to put the gas shocks in here. The first set of gas shocks were too stiff, and looks like these are pretty good. So doesn't want to go flying up when you open the trunk. So we'll put the battery back in the car, get everything set up, and I think we're pretty close to done on we put LED taillights in this. We made the headlights adjust. Did a bunch of just small items on the car just to
make it a more drivable, friendly car.
Not something that's just show. So here's a center console that we made for, remember that Corvette project we had here a few months ago?
Yeah, the black one.
So here's a center console that we made. We 3D printed the insides, 3D printed the outsides. So this slides inside here. Somehow here. Maybe I got it backwards. I don't know. But you can see that this goes inside there and gives you a place for 12-volt power or USB stuff. It's got the lid that goes on. That's a multi-piece lid, so we can have a different pad in the top. So we can put some foam pad in here for your elbow, so it's nice. And then this goes in and gives you a place to wrap the leather around. There's some steel plates and parts that hold this together that need to be final welded. It's got a nice hinge in it that opens the door, things like that this all goes in the Corvette. And so once we get this done, we've got some small parts that we'll get together that will go on the Corvette, and it'll come back out of storage and get those things all back together to put Steve and his dad back on the road in that car. Other than that, let's see. Ranch Wagon, we are still moving ahead, full speed ahead on getting this thing ready for Grand National Roadster Show in January. As you can see, we've chosen red for the interior color. A lot of red.
Danny's color.
And it's It's red. We've been working on exterior trim stuff. Just trying to get all the small details together. Not really sure. We're still trying to decide what color we want to paint these gray parts. I think we thought that this was going to be black, and now we're deciding that that's too much black. So we're just kind of waiting it out to get to the end to see what color we think it should be once everything's in here with the inner fenders, the radiator closeout panels, things like that. So we just shot a full video on this one that'll have its own story or own video series to go with that as we lead up to Pomona, and you can check that out with a lot of the details.
Yeah, if you're local, come check it out in firsthand at Pomona. Otherwise, you're getting to see the details here in these videos.
That's the plan, is to just show you guys the behind the scenes stuff. We want to show you that stuff behind is done well and not just rinky-dink stuff, and speakers are actually hooked up, and brake lines aren't run through and hung on with duct tape, and done stuff behind the scenes. I like to show you that there's good quality stuff behind the scenes and not just whatever, where it's just meant for show and not anything else.
Well, beyond the quirky stuff, to be honest with you, if you're really an automotive, like passionate person, it is such just a pleasure to be able to see underneath the details and just what kind of work is done that you'll never see once the car is all together.
Yes, there's a lot of details you're just not going to see down in here. I mean, lots of different places just to see how things are finished out in other spots.
Yeah, I geek out on the stuff. I love seeing it apart because, again, you don't get to see these cars like that. So
no, you don't. Beyond
all the shady stuff that sometimes happens underneath these cars, the details that you guys are providing is just great to see firsthand.
Yeah. Well, and our goal is to show what we're trying to do on a high level in all places. And so, like I said, if you watch for the video that'll come out for this, you'll see the build series video on this. We got a build series video coming for the Nova. Did we talk about Chevelle number 4, or does that not matter?
I mean, we're gonna have its own, we have its own series on that, but let's just touch on it real quick here. The thing's looking beautiful.
I know it's got black stripes, so it may not be up your alley.
No, this is actually you're turning me around with this color, because at first I was a little leery about it.
A little?
Yeah, but you have definitely, I think, seeing the bumper today, the chrome and the bezels, it really made a difference on how this color is popping out and just really coming together.
Is that the trucker in you that's coming out with the chrome?
I believe it or not.
Believe it or not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is looking really good.
Yeah. Yeah. So got all the front sheet metal on it, inner fenders in it, the wiring is in it, bumpers are in it. We're going to shorten up the bumper brackets because the bumpers, the rear bumper, just a bracket doesn't seem to be tighter. I don't know if it's something in the bumper or not, but either way, we're going to shorten up the bumper brackets that are here because that's just not going to work.
Well, so, if you put a 70s Chevelle rear bumper on a 70s Chevelle, it'd probably fit better.
Yeah, that's good. That's
you walked
good.
into that one.
Good. At least it's not a crew cab.
Yeah.
At least it's not a crew cab.
Hey, we just joke around because the comments on social media, it's all great and fun, and you just got to crack a smile and laugh at some of the stuff that's said. But I mean, it's just one of the things that you like to do. You like to put the dual tail lights to match the dual headlights.
Yeah, and as you can see, we have our custom lenses in here. So
yeah, you're not just slapping on a 71, 72 bumper. You're actually making lenses that...
Because this is on a curve.
Yep.
And so you can't take this one and flop it over and put it on this side. So it has to be 4 individual lights to fit in here.
And these are LED.
Yeah, well, they're all LED. When you stomp on the brake, they all 4 come on. This is not just a backup light. It's not just like when you put on the brake, it's just this one that turns on. They all 4 turn on. It all fits together. It looks good. It does what it's, it looks the part. You may be like, well, it needs to be a 70. Well, that's fine. When we build yours, we'll put a 70 on it. Some guys have done those. We've done a few 70s. We've done a few guys who like this. So we're just kind of sneaking through the process of getting everything on the car, getting everything together.
Yeah, this thing's looking really, really good.
So I think we've decided to not run the fender molding.
Really?
Just to keep it more of that poor boy, basic hubcap style thing. Malibu feel, just a little more sinister.
I don't know. With that chrome bumper.
Well, they all have chrome bumpers.
No, I know, but with that chrome bumper, and then once you get the dishes on the wheels.
It's easy to put them on at the end.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, we'll have to see what the viewers think.
We'll have to see what they think.
Yeah.
So let us know what you think in the comments. Fender moldings or no fender moldings. It's easy to put them on at the end. Obviously, there'll be the molding that goes here at the back of the hood. There'll be a little bit of those few things. There's the molding that goes on the vinyl top. But other than that, I think that's where we're going to leave it. Then it's just like Goldie. And Goldie seems to have, Goldie sure looks good.
When I had Goldie for that week, it was insane how many people were gravitating towards that car. It is crazy.
And now that Goldie is a better color, is that fair? Better, yeah. Better color with, it's an original color, so it's not like red or black. It's got something that will stand out. It's kind of the same thing, but it just has a little bit more pizzazz to it.
If you're a Chevelle enthusiast, but you really want the motorized just car, this one's for sale.
This one's for sale still.
It's still for sale.
We're getting a lot more messages on it every day. I think people want to know if it's going to have fender moldings or not, so they're waiting around.
I think the hesitation is just to kind of see it more together and like how the just outcome's going to be, because this color is just one of those colors to where it just needs to see it when it's all together and get that vibe and look. The rendering looks really good. And it literally seen it today with the bumper changed a lot just because it was so muted with all the black stuff and all dark stuff. Seen with the bezels and the bumper and everything.
It looks great.
It's coming together.
It looks great. So, well, thank you very much. If you have any interest in anything that we're doing, feel free to contact us through our website. That's the best way. We'll get back to you right away. So thanks for watching and have a good day.